Hi, this is Ramachandran from onlinemathforo.com. In this video, we are going to see comparing compound interest and simple interest. Here we are going to discuss how to compare an investment in compound interest, an investment in simple interest. Okay, so to have this discussion, let us consider an example so that we have on the board, that is which is better investment, because we have two investments, so in which we have to decide which is better. So the first investment is 3% per year compounded monthly, or the second investment is 3.2% per year simple interest. So we have two investment. It's very clear. So the first investment is in compound interest, and the second investment is in simple interest. So here, so to compare this, if you have principal, if principal is given in both the investment, so we can easily find the interest earned in compound interest, interest earned in simple interest. Return from the first investment, return from the second investment. So where there is more return, or where there is more interest, so that is a better investment. Easily we can decide if the principal is given. But the problem is the principal is not given. So for both the investment, so they have given just the interest rate. So in compound interest they are given interest rate 3%. So in simple interest they have given the interest rate 3.2%. So they have just given the interest rate for in both the investment. In both compound interest and also in simple interest. So from this we have to decide which is better. Okay. So since the principal is not given, we have to we should try to find some other way to solve this problem. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so here the first one is in compound interest and second one is simple interest. So as soon as this question is seen, some students will decide the second one is better. So because here we get more interest rate. So here we get more than what we have in the first. So because in the first we have 3%, in the second we have 3.2%. So it's not like that. So because both are not simple interest. If both of them are simple interest, we can decide so the second one is better. But both of them are not simple interest. The first one is compound, the second one is simple. So easily we can't decide. Okay, so let us try to find some other way to solve this problem. Okay, since both of them are in different cases, the first one is in compound, the second one is in simple, I'm just trying to convert this compound interest into simple. So if I convert this compound interest into simple interest, I can easily compare, because the second one is already in simple. So if the first one also becomes simple, so both of them will be in simple interest, then easily we can compare which is better. So now we got idea to compare these two. So the idea is we should try to convert the given compound interest into simple interest. So the next question we have, so how can we convert this compound interest and simple interest? So I'll show you here. So here compound interest, the first investment is in compound interest. Now I am going to convert this compound interest into simple interest. So because to compare, so since the first investment is in compound interest, if it is converted into simple interest, the second one is already in simple interest. So both of them will be in simple interest, and then we can compare which one is better. Okay, so the principal is not given for both the investment. I assume I'm going to invest $P in compound interest. So that is the principal is P. So the interest I earn in compound interest is capital I. So the time duration here is 1 year, I assume. So the principal in compound interest is P, interest earned is capital I, and time duration is 1 year. So interest rate is given in the question for compound interest, that is 3%. So now this one has to be converted into this one has to be converted into simple interest. So whenever we convert compound interest into simple interest, so whatever principal we have in compound interest, the same has to be taken in simple interest. and whatever interest earned in compound interest, again the same to be taken in simple interest. So whatever time duration we have in compound interest, the same to be considered in simple interest. So t is equal to 1 year. So here students, please notice this particular thing. So in compound interest, in simple interest, in both we have the same principal, we have the same interest earned, we have the same time duration. So this is the thing always we have to remember. So when we convert compound interest into simple interest, whatever principal, interest earned, time duration we have in compound interest, the same to be applied in simple interest. And here, one second. So I'm really sorry, I just missed to use a percentage. So the rate of interest is 3%. So okay, so the same principal, interest, time duration have been taken in simple interest. And here our next question is, what is the rate of interest? So definitely the rate of interest will not be 3%. So 3% rate of interest is given for compound interest. So here we convert this compound interest into simple interest. So when we convert compound interest into simple interest, definitely the rate of interest will be different from the interest rate given in compound interest. So here it will not be 3%, here it will be something different. So that we have to find. So now we are in the position to find rate of interest in simple interest. So this rate of interest in simple interest is called effective rate of interest. Students, please listen to me carefully. So now the rate of interest that I am going to find for simple interest is called effective rate of interest. So in this point it's very clear, effective rate of interest is nothing but the rate of interest used in simple interest for the same principal, interest, time duration which we have in compound interest. So do remember, effective rate of interest is nothing but the rate of interest in simple interest for the same principal, interest, time duration which we have in compound interest. And here the students may have a confusion. Okay, so you are saying that we have to find effective rate of interest, that is a rate of interest we use in simple interest. So how can we find effective rate of interest? So we have formula to find effective rate of interest. So that is capital E is equal to one second, I'll just I'll write here. So E is equal to 1 positive I whole to the power n negative 1. So here we are not going to use principal or interest or anything like that, because here we have assumed P as principal, I as interest earned, but in the original problem P is not given, interest is not given. So in the formula we don't have principal, interest or anything like that. So we are going to find effective rate of interest only with the actual rate 3% given in the compound interest. So okay, so now our first aim is to get the value of I. So to get the value of I, we have to convert so this percentage into decimal form. So when we convert this decimal form into percentage, so it will be 3% is equal to 3 over 100 is equal to 0.03. So to get the value of I, so this 0.03 to be divided by 12. So because the word compounded monthly, so we have 12 months in a year. So that is the reason I divide the decimal form of the percentage by 12. So when I divide, I get I is equal to 0.0025, and clearly n is equal to number of years into number of conversion periods per year. So here number of year is 1 year, time duration. So since it is compounded monthly, so number of conversion periods for 1 year is equal to 12. So we get n is equal to 12. So E is equal to 1 positive 0.0025 to the power 12 negative 1. So the value of 1.0025 to the power 12 negative 1. So I'll continue the next step on the next page. So E is equal to 1.0025 to the power 12 negative 1. So the value of 1.0025 to the power 12 can be retrieved easily from the calculator. Otherwise we can use the given information, because the value of 1.0025 to the power 12 is given, that is 1.0304. So that we have on the previous page. So if you subtract 1 from 1.0304, we get 0304. So to convert this decimal into percentage, so we have to multiply by 100, then say effective rate of interest is equal to, so this decimal has to be multiplied by 100. If we multiply this decimal by 100, so we get 3.04 percentage. So the effective rate of interest we get is 3.04 percentage. So students, already I told you, so effective rate of interest is nothing but the rate of interest we use in simple interest for the principal, interest, time duration which we have in compound interest. So this is the interest rate we have in simple interest. So please give me a moment. So here we got the value for R is equal to, so 3.04 percentage. So students, now we have converted the first investment, I mean compound interest into simple interest. So already the second one is in simple interest. Now so both the investments are in simple interest. So actually the first one was in compound interest, but we have converted compound interest into simple interest. So the first investment is in simple interest, already the second one also is in simple interest. Both the investments are in simple interest. So now easily we can compare. So here in the first investment, I mean here in the simple interest, we have the rate of interest is 3.04 percentage. In the second investment, the rate of interest is 3.2 percentage. So we just compare these two rate of interest. So it's very clear, in the second investment we get more percentage. So we have to decide the second one is better. So I hope now the students will be able to understand. So to compare these two investments, the first one was in compound interest, but it has been converted into simple interest. So now the first one is in simple interest, already the second one is in simple interest. Now the first and second, both the investments are in simple interest. Since both the investments are in simple interest, we just have to compare the interest rate given. So here we have interest rate 3.04 percentage in simple interest in the first investment, and we have 3.2 percentage interest rate in the second investment in simple interest. So we have to compare these two interest rate. So we get more interest rate in simple interest, so second investment is better. So now the students can understand how to solve this kind of problems. That is, if they want to compare compound interest and simple interest, if the principal is not given, so how it has to be solved. So the only thing what they have to do is, so they have to convert compound interest into simple interest. So once the compound interest is converted into simple interest, so other investment is already in simple interest, so easily we can compare the rate of interest, because both of them will be in simple interest. And in simple words we can say, so what that is, 1 second, I'll just show you on the next page. So please give me a moment. So here 3 percentage compound interest, 3.2 percentage simple interest. So so far I have explained you. So this compound interest has to be converted into simple interest. So then this one is simple, this one is simple. We just have to compare the interest rate. We have to decide. So in simple words, what we can say is, if you want to compare simple interest and compound interest, if the principal is not given, what you have to do is, you have to find effective rate of interest for the actual rate given in compound interest by using the formula E is equal to 1 positive I to the power n negative 1. So by using this formula, you have to find effective rate of interest. So this effective rate of interest to be compared to the rate of interest given in the simple interest. So where we get more percentage, so that is better investment. So this is a simple way of comparing compound interest and simple interest. So the only thing what you have to do is, you have to get effective rate of interest from the actual rate given in compound interest. So once you get effective rate of interest, it has to be compared to the rate of interest given in simple interest. So in this comparison, easily we can know where we get more interest rate. So that is a better investment. Okay students, I hope now you'll be able to understand how to compare compound interest and simple interest. So for more videos like this, please visit www.onlinemathforall.com. Thank you.